Yes, it's cheesy, but it's me. Yeah, I know that was horrible. Sorry, guys. Mr. Voiceman, I'm back again. Um, Sorry to my subscribers and whatnot. That includes you, Dave. Uh,
Oh,
Normally I'm here every week before Ravens game, but when you're pulling 70 plus hours a week at work, your responsibilities tend to take a little bit of a back seat. But that being said, I'm back. It's not Thanksgiving anymore. It's playoff time. The Ravens faithful have been going strong. We have made the playoffs. We got that elusive first round bye under John Harbaugh that we have never gotten before. And it feels good. We got the week off. Bolden comes back from meniscus surgery. Everyone's looking good. And it's once again the season of Festivus here in Baltimore. Um, you'll have to excuse the appearance. I know I'm usually on the windowsill or in my bedroom right now, but hey, I got lazy. I decided to sit down. So that being said, let's get right to it. It's your Houston Texans. Really? Houston Texans? Didn't they lose Matt Schaub? And didn't Andre Johnson miss like 107 games with a hamstring or thigh injury or something else? And Owen Daniels has a broken hand apparently, but he's still going to play, so he won't be able to catch any passes. But that being said, it's still a formidable team. They come in with a third-string quarterback because first it was Schaub on the IR, then Matt Leinart, who doesn't belong in the NFL anyway because he sucks. He had a shoulder injury 3 quarters into a game against Cincinnati, and in comes T.J. Yates. And just to show how bad the quarterback situation is in Houston, they decided to re-sign retired Jake Delhomme and 955-year-old Jeff Garcia. Things are going bad in Houston on the quarterback front, to say the least. But now T.J. Yates, he's held his own. Houston's kind of worked up a game plan for them where, he doesn't really have to do too much. He manages the game. They build on a strong run game with Arian Foster and Ben Tate. And they have one of the best defenses in the NFL. Wade Phillips is a god when it comes to that. So it's basically two powerhouse smash-mouth football teams going against each other. But no matter what the detractors say, Flacco is the better quarterback in this matchup. So, I won't go into my predictions, but you can already tell where this one's going. That being said, first off, it's the Texans' offense versus the Ravens' defense. Just going to do this as a whole because I really don't feel like anything else. It starts with the run, it ends with the run, and the run is used to set up play action. But Yates doesn't exactly have the world's strongest arm in the world, so play action is somewhat limited. Andre Johnson will be back as the starting wide receiver from the mysterious thigh, knee, hamstring, whatever you want to call it. It's still an injured leg. But after the touchdown pass of 40 yards against the Bengals last week, looks like he's gotten his full set of steam and looks to be up to speed. And, outside of him, though, the other receivers, they're not exactly the most consistent people in the world. Kevin Walter, he's a Bolden-type guy. Jacoby Jones has great speed, but he never seems to be able to get open, run his right routes, or get his hands on the ball in the first place, so he's really a non-factor in most games. This team builds everything bread and butter with the tight ends, Joel Dreesen and Owen Daniels, as mentioned before. So, they will probably try to work a lot of the intermediate routes in the middle of the field. It'll be a lot of short dump-offs, probably more or less to Dreesen. Like to use a lot of rollouts and bootlegs and whatnot. And like to try to make the tight ends make plays after the catch. I really like the Ravens matchup against this type of strategy because Ellerby, McLean, not so much Ray anymore. I feel bad saying it, but the old man is not that good in pass coverage anymore. We've seen it even before the injury. He did not play that well, having to drop back in man coverage. So I don't know if we'll be able to get him off of the field in third down and passing situations, but hopefully we can put one of our faster, younger guys on the tight ends, and that should be no problem to cover the middle of the field. Johnson is a mismatch, I believe, no matter what corner he goes against, Williams or Ladarius Webb. So thank God for Ed Reed, who I think is going to show up huge in this playoff stretch. And while he's been quiet since pretty much the beginning of the season with a few interceptions, I look for him to make some serious plays in these coming games, and it's probably going to start this week. We build ourselves to stop the run. The front seven is second to none. Jarrett Johnson sets a hell of an outside edge, which normally causes most running backs to have to cut back inside to the middle of the defense. And when you have people like Kalodi Nada and Mount Cody coming towards you, you tend to move out of the way because that's a whole lot of man coming, and they are going to fall on top of you, and it's going to hurt. So I like the Ravens defense matchup in this one, and now it's the Ravens offense versus the Texans defense, and it's one of the same type matchups. We build ourselves around the run game. Ray Rice, Ricky Williams. They did not have Vontae Leach last season. They have him this year, and he's created some monster holes for Ray to run through, as we saw in the Bengals game when he ran off those 2 long plays, one for 51 yards, to kind of seal the victory. I look for more of the same, but don't be surprised if you come out early trying to take shots deep with Torrey. Jonathan Joseph's a hell of a cover corner, but let's face it, no one in the NFL can keep up with Torrey. They generally tend to not turn around until it's too late. They have to play catch up, and that's usually where the pass interference calls come in our favor. So they won't use it exclusively, but I'd say in the first couple plays you might get a dump off to Ray, but then look for him to take that first shot downfield just to say, make sure you give us the intermediate routes because we are going to go downfield and we are not too scared to do that. Bolden is coming back. He might be a little bit sluggish to start with, but you probably have him in the slot working against linebackers or safeties, and that's a hell of a matchup we look to exploit. So look for him to have a big day once again. Last time these teams met, he had 8 for 132 yards. We didn't score any touchdowns, but Flacco had one hell of a day. Ray, he did most of the scoring, as well as the 5 Billy Cundiff field goals. So obviously we can't convert in the red zone, but as long as we push those 3 points into 7 points every time we're down in the red zone, shouldn't be a problem for us to convert against this team. That being said, Jacoby Jones is a hell of a return guy. The special teams has kind of been this team's Achilles heel. So Rosberg, he should be working up some pretty decent strategies for the special teams coverage units to protect the runner, to protect our kickers, and also to cover on the opposing people's return guys. That being said, I'm pretty sure it's close to prediction time now, and I'm going to go ahead and ask the Ravens faithful to back me up on this while I am giving you this prediction, so bear with me a minute. It's like you're at the stadium, isn't it? It's crazy. I love how this feels. I'll never be able to afford to go to a game, but it's still really cool. That being said, guys, the Ravens at home, 15-1 in the last 2 seasons. You can't beat us at home. Flacco's going to have a hell of a day. He's going to have to throw the ball more than I think most people anticipate. But this is the time where he steps up. He rides that Fu Manchu and its magical powers, and he takes this team to the next level. So look for the Ravens to come out big this week. It's not going to be a blowout, but I'd say probably a 24-14, 24-17 score. And that ends up positioning us to face either Brady in New England or have the Tebows come to Baltimore next week. And hopefully we end up with a W and we're on our way to Indy. So that being said, guys, it's great to be back. Hope I can bring you guys one next week, and we're lucky enough with a W. So Mr. Voiceman saying thank you, take care, go Ravens, and happy Festivus, everybody.